been tough sledding for the Macs of late, as Thursday night saw them get absolutely dominated by a very skilled NYU team. But tonight, they look to get back on track, facing off against Mount St. Mary's in a Saturday night edition of Macs Basketball. Hello, everyone. I'm Charlie Bendheim. Alongside me, Akiva Poppers, who's back. Now, tonight sees the Macs come in against a Mount St. Mary's team looking to get back on track.
Yeah, that's right, Charlie. But just let's focus a little bit on that NYU game first on Thursday. The Macs got really decimated, giving up 108 points, the worst performance for a Yeshiva team in the Elliott's time at Ezra, allowing NYU to shoot 19 for 35 from 3. It's going to be really important if they want to get back on track to just get that game out of their minds and use it as inspiration to always play with a lot of effort, but never think about it otherwise again.
Yeah, and they're going up against this Mount St. Mary Knights team coming in at 2-5, their first in-conference matchup, and they're going to look to get going early.
Yeah, and when it comes to Mount St. Mary, obviously this is a tough first conference matchup for them, but they have a very balanced scoring attack. They're led by Elijah Barnett and Jaden Figueroa, each of whom average a little over 12 points a game. Figueroa contributing 3 blocks a game. And in terms of Mount St. Mary, they do what you often see with a lot of Skyline teams, so some ball screen. They do get into the post a little bit, which is a new addition to their offense, and they'll throw out a 3-2 zone against the Macs. It'll be really important for the Macs to play patiently and defensively to stick to their fundamentals if they want to win this one.
Well, the stage is set. Coming up after this short break, we have anthems, we have lineups, we have basketball here. Mozash in the Mac Center Athletic Center. Don't go anywhere.
It's going to be a celebration like we've never seen before. Deeply rooted in the Torah, inspired by our core Torah values, committed to academic excellence and geared to empower our students, the leaders of tomorrow. The flagship Jewish university is on the rise, rising in national rankings, soaring in student enrollment, launching top-tier academic programs, and helping secure great jobs and impactful careers for our graduates. Hakol Lichvodo. I invite you to join the Yeshiva University community on Sunday, December 4th, at our 98th annual Hanukkah dinner, where we'll experience the impact and celebrate our achievements. This promises to be an extraordinary night and an incredible new space, an evening filled with entertainment, no speeches, and a unique experience that celebrates our Rise Up campaign. I look forward to seeing you there.
Hello and welcome back to the Max Stern Athletic Center for tonight's matchup between the Yeshiva University Maccabees against the Mount St. Mary College Knights. We're going to send it down to our PA announcer for anthems, and we'll be back with lineups.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Max Stern Athletic Center for tonight's Skyline Athletic Conference matchup between the Mount St. Mary Knights and your Yeshiva University Maccabees. At this time, we ask everyone to please rise for the playing of the U.S. and Israeli national anthems. Let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First for Mount St. Mary College. And come, a 6-foot senior from Red Hook, New York, number 4, Chris Yearwood. And come, a 6'2" junior from Capitol Hall, New York, number 13, Rod Bray. And forward, a 6'5" junior from Garfield, New Jersey, number 21, Hunter Siren. And forward, a 6'8" sophomore from New Windsor, New York, number 23, Jaden.
For the visiting Mount St. Mary College Knights, starting at guard, the 6-foot senior, Chris Yearwood. Starting at guard, the 6'2" junior, Ryan Graham. Starting at forward, the 6'5" junior, Connor Cryan. Starting at forward, the 6'8" sophomore, Jaden Figueroa. And starting at forward, the 6'6" junior, Elijah Barnett. They're coached by Coach Ryan Kadlabowski. We're going to call him Coach K.
Coach K for short. Yes, the 6'9" giant, former college player himself.
And now for the Yeshiva University Maccabees. They're coached obviously by Elliot Steinmetz, Coach Steinmetz. Starting at forward, the 6'4" freshman, Roy Itkevich. Starting at guard, the 6'1" sophomore, Zevi Samet. Starting at forward, the 6'4" senior, Matan Zucker. Starting at guard, the 6'2" junior, Adi Markovich. And starting at forward, the 6'6" freshman, Dotan Bardichev. And Roy Itkevich is someone to look out for today.
Yeah, I think Roy is a good player to look out for due to the fact that Mount St. Mary commonly plays that 3-2 zone. In the last time the Macs faced a zone against a team in a competitive game, that was the Webster game, in which they threw out a 2-3 zone, and Matan Zucker was the primary fixture in the high post, and he ended up with a triple-double. I think we might see Roy get a few minutes in there tonight. He's also been the Mac's most efficient shooter. He can hit that turnaround jumper from there, although he had a poor game against NYU, just like everyone else, only going 3 for 9.
Yeah, we're not going to want to harp on that NYU game too much because Coach Steinmetz did tell us that he's just looking to put it behind them.
Yeah, and I think that's the right mentality. It's a very important learning lesson, and I think it's a good thing that the Macs were able to experience a situation in which they were down early and where a team was rolling and they weren't executing. Obviously, it would have been preferred if they would have themselves come back and stayed strong, but, you know, a team with 11 freshmen, they were a little soft and they let it get to them, and they didn't really show the effort that was needed in order to get back into that game, and now they know what will happen if they ever do that again, and hopefully they don't.
All right, we're just about ready for tip-off. The fans still filing in.
A little bit of a small crowd here, not the typical Saturday night, although it is in the first semester where often we'll see a little smaller crowds than we'll see in the second semester.
But hopefully, once come playoff time, this place is going to be packed to the rim.
Hopefully. They also maybe know that it gets a little hot in here on Saturday nights. They're watching on their Max Live screens instead.
It's really crazy how hot it gets in here, and I mention it almost every game down the stretch, how it might affect these players, but it affects these broadcasters also.
Yeah, we were taking a temperature reading from the track, which is the upper level of the Max Stern Athletic Center, 2 hours before game time, and it was 89.5 degrees, Charlie.
That's ridiculous. But nonetheless, we're just about ready to get going. Both teams are ready. The fans are ready. The refs are ready. We're ready. Let's do it from the Max Stern Athletic Center. As off the tip, the Knights will start with the ball. And it is Ryan Graham, the junior, off to Yearwood. Figueroa. Salmon on Graham. Figueroa inside. Bardichev got a piece. Ball is knocked around, but it will be Markovich for the Macs.
Yeah, and I thought that was a good job by Roy on that possession. It looked like maybe Mount St. Mary was trying to get some backdoor action going, and he shut it down.
Bardichev catches underneath. Can't get the first layup to fall, but he'll get fouled on the second attempt and go to the line for a couple.
And we've seen in the last few games, Bardichev's trying to establish himself a little more in the post. We saw throughout the first few weeks of the year, he was really just showing himself outside of 3-point line, but he's 6'6". And while he may not be used to playing inside the post, he has to get used to using his size.
Max on the board first. Now Bardichev, as you mentioned, 6'6", only a freshman, just sort of getting into things, but as the games have progressed, he's gotten better and more comfortable.
Yeah, and I think we've seen he's had a lot of issues when the ball's in his hand and he's dribbling. I like him just to be a sort of catch and shoot guy, whether it's out of the post or from behind the three-point line, and not get too into it when it comes to having the ball in his hands.
It's Krein inside. That's solid defense. Shot way too strong by Graham, and it's Markovich again.
Yeah, Samet's positioning there was a little bit off, which allowed for that middle drive there.
Zucker looked to get hacked a little bit. No call, layup no good. And back come the Knights. It's Yearwood now with Berdichev on him. 2 steps and up. Uses the window. We're tied at 2.
Yeah, that's a good finish there from Yearwood. He's their senior leader and a good scorer. He puts up 10 points a game. It's a good sign for Mount St. Mary to see him getting the ball in the bucket here early.
Again, as we mentioned earlier, the 3-2 zone. As Graham got a finger on it, it'll stay with the Macs. But the Macs are going to have to use their, I guess, bigs is what we'd call them, although they're not so tall, but they're big men.
Forwards.
They're forwards in order to sort of open things up behind the arc as things move along in this game. As Itkovich pulls a deep 3. That's too short. Rebound tapped around, but Yearwood's got it. And here he goes. Picks up his dribble, kicks out. Figueroa. Nope. Markovich grabs his 3rd rebound of the game.
Yeah, Figueroa can shoot a little bit. He struggled, though, this year, shooting a little bit under 30% from 3. But he's a player who can get going.
Berdichev baseline, no good on the layup. He gets his own rebound and cleans it up. And that's the 3rd time they've looked to get inside early on.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be the theme of this game. The Macs playing both out of the high post and the low post and playing inside out as opposed to outside in.
Barnett, dangerous pass, but now it's Yearwood straight on 3, rims out. Markovich again with the rebound. He's doing a solid job of crashing these boards on the defensive end as finds Roy cutting inside. Ooh, wow. Blocked away by Figueroa, so it'll stay with the Macs.
Yeah, and we mentioned in the pregame he averages 3 blocks a game. I thought that was a good job, though, by Roy finding the empty space in the zone, and obviously while it's a block, they still have over 20 seconds on the shot clock here.
If they could get it in, which they failed to do. Ball tipped away. Yearwood now the Knights. Figueroa. Back out. It's Yearwood. Figueroa now puts the ball on the deck. Inside to Krein, who finishes the layup.
Yeah, when we mentioned it a little bit earlier, but that's a typical middle drive, and middle drive will pick apart this man-to-man defense.
It's Zucker. Barnett on him. Samet yet to touch the ball in the offensive set. Here he is. Foul will be called on the Knights. It'll be on 13, Ryan Graham.
Yeah, things were getting a little handsy there with Graham, and Bardichev was getting a little handsy. He's been known to use his hands a little bit. A little bit of a bailout, perhaps. I'm not sure if I saw enough to warrant the foul call there.
Zucker with Graham on him. Inside to Markovich. Reverse lay, no good. Roy cleans that up. So the Macs doing a solid job of crashing the rebounds. Has led to 4 of their 6 points, as that's not a smart foul taken by Markovich.
No, that's not a smart foul from Markovich. But you see against that 3-2 zone, those baselines are open for the cuts, and also the baselines are open for rebounders to crash the boards because they only have 2 guys on the back end. They're leaving space open, which allows the Macs, who are not an offensive rebounding team, to pick up a few here early.
It's Barnett. Roy fouls him from behind. First subs of the game made by Coach K and the Knights. Brandon Graham, brother of Ryan Graham, checking into the game, younger brother. And number 20, Jaden Rocca, checks into the game. Yearwood deflected away by Samet. Samet now. Quarter to Markovich. Bardichev. Itkovich. Moving the ball around nicely are the Macs. But the Knights staying in their lanes. There's a foul. That's on number 23, Jaden Figueroa.
Yeah, that was a good patient possession there for the Macs. Had about 6 or 7 passes. And I think it's important that in order to pick apart the zone, they do pass the ball well. You see Mount St. Mary's very good at getting their hands up. But right there, even with the hands up and with help on the back end, Zucker is wide open to get the ball there.
Samet, catch and shoot. Off left. Roy rises for the rebound. Ooh. Vitesh thought about a 3. Now he's going to pull it and connects. So Vitesh checks into the game, pumps a couple times, and gets the 3 to fall. Thought there may have been a travel there. No call. And that's Raka on the finish with Zucker on him. So both players check in for both teams and are right on the board early. And the Macs are leading by a score of 9-6.
Yeah, and Raka's not the biggest scorer, but he can defend very well.
3 short from Samet.
A guy with a high motor, good senior leader for Mount St. Mary.
Raka again. This time gets position on Vitesh and finishes the layup.
Yeah, he's not the biggest player, Raka, but Vitesh is a good half-foot shorter than him.
Vitesh, smart pass into Zucker, gets the ball poked away, and here's Barnett. Motors down the court and finishes with the right.
Mount St. Mary on a little bit of a run here, Charlie. They're back in the lead.
Vitesh now. Zucker. Roy, that's a 3. He connects. So we mentioned him at the outset. And he's got 5.
Yeah, and both Roy and Vitesh hitting 3-pointers. Both of them are shooting over 50% from 3 this year. It's good to see them getting on the board here early for the Macs.
Figueroa, that's just a little too easy. Zucker picked up his dribble early, almost throws it away. Bardachев bails him out.
Yeah, it looks like the shot clock is stuck at 27 here. They only drop it down to 25, and that still seems a little bit high.
More subs coming for both teams as Gav Landau is going to check into the game. Matan Zucker going to take a seat.
Yeah, and Gav Landau showed a lot of effort. Of the Max players who were showing effort, he was bringing the effort, and he always does on the defensive side of the floor. So it's not surprising to see him checking into the game. He's been picking up a lot of minutes of late for the Max.
He's a very good communicator.
You see when he's on the court, the other guys on the court get better defensively because of him.
Solid cut there. Nothing comes of it. It's Vitesh again now. Cross court, ball deflected. Samet still corrals. Now it's Landau with 6 on the shot clock. Roy. And that foul is called on number 20, Jaden Raka. Connor Cryan checked back into the game, as did Matthew Walsh, getting his first looks here, number 15. You see him on the replay.
Yeah, and that looked like the right call. He was holding him a little bit.
A fresh 20 now for the Max. Roy. Bodies inside. No good on the layup. Who wants the rebound? Roy again. Falls down. Gets fouled. Layup does not go. But he's stuck with it, and he'll get 2 free attempts from the charity stripe.
Yeah, that was a little bit dangerous. With the body on the floor there. But Roy really motoring after these boards. Good for Walsh that he's not hurt, because he was under a few big bodies right there.
First shot rims home. Subscribe to Max Live on YouTube to make sure you do not miss any amazing Max games and highlights this season. And if you want to receive Max news and updates, join our WhatsApp group chat. The link to join is in the description of this YouTube video. Max 4 of 4 from the line today. And their lead is now 2.
And YU's already got 6 offensive rebounds, Charlie. Just 7 minutes into this game. I don't know if I've ever seen that from YU before.
Landau closes. Cryan inside. Timeout. Steinmetz. Tie game. 7 minutes gone. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. 14 all. An interesting start to this game. Both teams sort of feeling each other out.
Yeah, the Macs have struggled defensively, but they've been picking up a lot of boards, and while they haven't been shooting it well, presumably those numbers will pick up soon.
Patesh on cue and hits that shot.
Yeah,
so he's 2 for 2.
He's 2 for 2 from 3, and I mean, Patesh is just a lights-out shooter. The guy's almost 55% from 3 on the year, which you're not supposed to be able to do.
Macs have a couple guys who could just shoot the lights out. Solid help there by Landau. Does just enough. Graham misses the layup, and now he'll push. Zucker traveled. Margasov has checked into the game for the Macs. Here comes Markovic. He's going to take Samet, who has yet to score tonight.
Yeah, and Margasov's had some struggles in the last several games. He started off early in the year. He was screening really well. He was defending pretty well. And he was shooting really well, and he hasn't done that nearly as well of late. At all facets of the game, he's been struggling a little bit, which makes sense. He's a freshman. He's had some struggles naturally.
So Connor Krine's got 7 as he makes that one look easy from downtown. And they're going to have to get someone on him as Patesh looks to answer. No good on the 3. Zucker grabs the rebound.
Saw Mount St. Mary with a little bit of a press, but now they're going right back into their 3-2.
Markovic just throws the ball away. And here comes Graham. Krine. Ooh, Markovic looked to have blocked him, but the ref calls a foul nonetheless. We'll see it here hopefully on the replay. Gives it off to Krine, and Markovic goes around him a little bit.
It looked like he got mostly ball there, maybe a little bit of hand. It's a tight call.
Jacob Roden looking to check in for the Macs. As Krine connects on the first free throw.
Roden's been picking up a few minutes in the first half here of late. He's cracked the rotation. Good for him, a freshman from Canada.
Rob Tansey just checked in for the Knights. So both teams have been shooting the ball well from the free throw line. Max down a couple with 11.5 to go in the first half. It's Patesh off to Landau. Margasov. Roden's first touches. Zucker. Patesh. Spacing not great right now for the Macs. And Margasov gets the ball poked away from him. Figueroa looks to Yearwood, and here they come. Krine. He couldn't do it again. Margasov back, grabs that rebound, and the Macs will look to reset.
Roden and Landau are both in the lane line, kind of cutting into each other at the same time there, and that messed up the possession for the Macs on that previous possession.
Margasov put the ball on the deck, yells out for his team to cut. That's a 3 from Zucker, and he hits it. And the crowd erupts. A surprising make from Matan Zucker. Not that he can't hit it, but he's usually hesitant to shoot that 3.
That's the first 3-pointer Matan Zucker's made, I believe, in his Macs career.
As Figueroa answers, quiets the crowd down a little bit. It's Landau now. Landau out to Patesh. Cross court to Roden. Inside to Zucker, spins. Nice pass to Batesh. That's a 3 straight on. Got it.
Yeah, you can see Matan is feeling it right now. And Oren is obviously feeling it right now. He's 3 for 4 from 3. Matan Zucker, I mean, I guess it's good to see him hit a 3. Obviously, he's not known for that at all. His career as a Mac, now he's, I believe, 1 for 8 from 3.
Zucker is going to get called for a blocking foul as he was in the restricted area. So that'll be an and 1 for number 13, Ryan Graham. And both these teams, if Ryan Graham can connect on the free throw, are just trading 3 points every single possession down the court.
Yeah, that looked like the right call to me. Charlie's back of his heel was on the circle there.
Zucker, Landau going to take a seat, as is Margasov. Bardachev, Samit, Roy Itkovich check into the game. Free throws left short.
Yeah, but Charlie, this is a very discouraging sign here. With just a little 10 minutes in, and the Macs have already allowed 24 points. I mean, Mount St. Mary is shooting 10 for 16 from the floor.
Roden. Yearwood with the hop close as Samit catches and shoots. That's going to be short. Has yet to find his stroke tonight. Obviously, he'll continue shooting, and the Macs are going to need him to step up a little bit if they want to win this game, as the Knights have come to play tonight. Figueroa inside, uses the window. 3-point game.
And Samit, we saw there, he was just sticking in the corner trying to just catch and shoot there. He's trying to find his stroke, but haven't seen him do much off the ball.
And that's what you need. Oh, my Lord. Roy went for the life ender.
It's a powerful hop there. Lucky there for Mount St. Mary that he couldn't get it to go. Oof.
He'll go to the line for a couple. Jeez. That was close. Figueroa jumped with him. Roy just couldn't finish it, but he'll get a couple of chances at the line. First one back, rims out. Raka checks into the game.
Oof. We take a look on the replay. Just couldn't get it over the rim there, but some good hops from the freshman.
He really is a fun player to watch. The Macs have a lot of these young guys, as Itkovich goes over 2 from the line, but a lot of young players who are worth the price of admission. Just to show up, watch them play, you're going to see them grow over the next few years. And they're going to be a team that, yes, they're going to have growing pains, but they have the skill, they have the talent, and it's just going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah, not much you could do there as Raka's up to 6 points. That was a nice baseline shot.
Roden. Like the idea inside to Bardichev, couldn't execute. And here comes Barnett. Ooh, no look pass. Figueroa throws down the dunk. Technical foul, though, is called on Figueroa, and Coach K is incensed.
Yeah, I don't really like most calls when you're calling a guy for hanging on the rim. I mean, he kind of has to hang on the rim to release his momentum. And we check it out on the replay here. I mean, what's he supposed to do?
Maybe they got him on slapping the backboard afterwards. I don't know.
And Oren Batesh is not a guy who you want to see at the line if you're Mount St. Mary, but I mean, it's a technical free throw, so not much you can do about it. It's a free point.
Yep. YU benefits from the controversial technical foul call, and will have possession as well after Batesh connected on the free throw. 6-point game, 8 minutes to go here in the first half. Knights have looked sharp, Max not as much. And this 3-2 zone, I don't want to say it has given the Macs so much trouble, but it does take away their 3-point shooting, which they really lean on for their scoring attack. forcing the Max to try to work the ball down low, try to hit layups, grab offensive boards.
Yeah, but they've been able to get such good looks off of it. I mean, besides for the turnovers, and defensively, that's where the real issues lie right now.
Salmon worked his way inside, caught and finished underneath. So he's got 2. He's finally on the board. Turnaround Jimmy, no good. See if the Max can find a layup again. It's Salmon. Throws it to Bardachev, who wasn't looking, but Batesh picks it up. Now it's Batesh. Bardachev. Zucker. Surveys with 6 on the shot clock. Batesh catches, rips, fades away, rims out. Foul, though, on the rebound is going to be on number 13, Ryan Graham.
And that's a good job there by Batesh creating space for himself, which he is not good at doing. And he almost got that shot to fall, and that allows the possession to stay alive.
So that's the 7th team foul on the night, so it'll be a 1-on-1 for Bardachev, as checking into the game is Brandon Graham, brother of Ryan Graham. He'll go and take a seat. That's got to be awkward, taking your brother out of the game. Maybe a little bittersweet.
Yeah, I think he's fine with it, I'm sure. I think he's probably more concerned about the scoreboard and probably pretty happy about it at this point, too.
Brandon, the younger of the Graham brothers. Only a freshman. Ryan, his brother, a junior. That's not going to work, as Rocca misses everything. And here comes Zucker.
No, I like the idea, but he totally missed where he was on the court.
Samet was out of bounds when he caught the ball. So turnovers back and forth. As you see here, see if we could see Samet's feet. You're not going to be able to on that replay. But a timeout's going to be called by the Max. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Hey Max fans, this is Joseph Gittler, YU class of 1996, founder and chairman of Leket Israel. The skies are reopening, so come and volunteer with us in Israel as soon as you make it here. Please also consider supporting us as you think about your charity. And of course, go Max!
Knights up on the Max 30-26, 6:47 to go in the first half. And Mount St. Mary has been playing a pretty solid brand of offense.
Yeah, they've been pretty much doing whatever they want to do. They've been getting good looks on the baseline. They've been getting good looks on the block. They've been hitting their shots, which is obviously most important. And second most important, they've only got 1 turnover. They haven't been turning the ball over. So a good combination if you want to pull an upset on the road.
It's Rivera bringing up the ball for the Knights with Batesh on him. Barnett, he's got the size advantage on Ikovic. Rivera, crying now. Ooh, Barnett sort of had a backdoor cut there.
Yeah.
Ryan did not give him the ball.
Roy's doing a good job, though, of keeping with his guy there.
Barnett too strong on the three. The Max corral the rebound. Now it's Bardachev. Zucker. Cross court, dangerous pass, but it gets there. Now it's Roy inside and uses the window and finishes.
Yeah, and Roy's been really good for the Max tonight. Now he's got 9 points, 3 for 6 from the floor.
Rivera falling away. Buttery.
That's Rivera's first bucket, and Mount St. Mary is shooting 14 for 23 from the floor. You have to imagine no matter how good looks they're giving up, they got to start shooting a little worse than that at one point, don't you think, Charlie?
Yeah, you assume that things are going to revert to the mean as Samet can't get the 3 to fall. He hasn't hit a 3 yet today. Ball's going to stay with the Max.
Yeah, Samet's really been struggling. I mean, he's already 0 for 4 from 3. It's been a little bit of a slump recently, which is not a good thing.
Yeah, but not uncommon for young players.
No, not uncommon at all. But he's a player with the potential, I wouldn't even say to get hot, so just once he gets back to being himself, him shooting 45%, that's him, right? That's not him being hot.
Yeah. I mean, he already has a 40-point game, 38-point game. That game against Illinois Wesleyan is going to go down as one of the all-time MAC performances, right, by an individual player, even in a loss. So he has the potential to be a star player, so much more than that, honestly.
And that wasn't even his best night. I mean, he only shot 14 from 29 that game.
But going through a bit of a rough patch right now. Rivera misses everything. So it's almost like it's a swish or it's an air ball for this Knights team. They don't hit the rim much.
No, that's the second time that they've missed a shot completely from within 10 feet.
Zucker gets forced out. Samet. Nice pass inside to Roy, who finishes.
Yeah, he's just been very good at finding those parts in the zone which you can pick apart. It's been on the baseline. It's been near the basket, and that's just an easy shot.
Rivera now. Landau on the foul. That'll be YU's 5th team foul, so from here on out, it'll be 1-1. Or at least a 1-1, I might say. Rivera, very quick guard. Tough to stick with, and he's got it again now. Figueroa got position. Landau came on the help and does an impressive job impeding the ability of Figueroa to hit that. Samet, could he get going? Nope, off the side of the backboard. Really struggling right now is Zevi Samet. That'll be a blocking foul as Brandon Graham took it to the cup. Can't get the layup to fall, but he'll get 2 free throws.
Yeah, Gav is just so impressive, though. I mean, there he's moving a little bit. They don't give him the charge, but that's a great job on the previous possession where the front got beat with a pass over the top, getting there and help and making what would have been an easy 2 difficult.
First free throw, no good. Roden checks into the game. Landau going to take a seat. Second free throw, good. So a 3-point game. Raka going to check into the game. Cryan going to take a seat.
Interesting choice by Coach K. He's giving Figueroa extended minutes here despite him having 2 fouls. He's a key player and he kind of needs him to be on the floor.
Well, he's tied for the lead in points for the Knights with 9 as Roden throws the ball away. And here comes Graham. 1, 2, up, finish.
Yeah, the Max with 9 turnovers. Active hands for Mount St. Mary and a couple of bad decisions.
That'll be a blocking foul as it was in the restricted area. Samet's going to go to the line for 2. Foul on number 20, Jaden Raka.
And these are such big free throws here, Charlie. You've got a struggling shooter who's 0 for 5 from 3 right now, and he gets a chance to hit a couple of free throws and see the ball go into the basket. These are really, really big free throws here in the general course of the game.
Jim goes silent. First shot up and in. Form looks good.
Form looks good. I mean, I can look back. I mean, you can give so many examples, but even just this year, Oren Batesh against Purchase in the game where he finished with, I believe, 33 points. Batesh was a little bit of a cold stretch, had missed a couple of his threes. Boom. He goes off for 4 straight after a technical foul, and hopefully that's what we see from Zevi here tonight.
Well, now we're going to send it down to the 3rd member of our crew, and SJ, talking a little bit about our favorite Twitter guy, Bob Coleman.
Thanks, guys. With the emergence of Zevi Samet, new Jewish terminology has been added to the vocabulary of D3 Hoops fans, the most recent one being Chazering Shear, which was mentioned in a recent tweet by diehard Max fan and D3 Hoops top 25 voter, Bob Quillman, as he opened with, not sure exactly what Chazering Shear is, but I think we basically did this at IW2, and closing with Chazering Shear is always fun. Bob, we appreciate the support as always. and we're happy to share some of our Jewish vocabulary with you. Thank you for the support as always, and thanks for the shout out on my suits on social media. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thank you, SJ. And of course, follow SJ at Sideline Suits on all of social media.
He's a good follow, SJ. Always going with the different outfits. He tells you which outfit he's wearing for that game, gives you the recap, posts his clips.
Yeah. And if you just watch us during the pregame show, you're not going to get as much, I guess, pizzazz on the suits.
We try, though.
We try. Try, obviously, the optimal word of that sentence. But yeah, Bob Coleman, and you're close with him on Twitter, I believe. I don't know him so well, but really a household name now at Max games, for Max fans everywhere.
He's the chief rabbi in New York. You got to give him the respect he deserves, right?
He obviously set up that game, I believe, with Illinois Wesleyan.
He did, indeed, and hopefully we see that turning into a returning back and forth. Maybe give it a couple of years, and we'll see Illinois Wesleyan back in the Max Athletic Center.
Illinois Wesleyan obviously 2-0 versus the Max right now. But both games, good ones. The first one last year was probably the most hyped up Max game ever.
Yeah, and for the Max, it didn't really live up to the hype.
No.
But for Illinois Wesleyan, it did.
The amount of kids dressing up as Pete Lambesis for perm that year.
That mustache.
That mustache was pretty crazy. Max aggressive here on the defensive end. Shot by Raka, no good. Ikovic grabs the board.
I think a key for the Max, besides for fixing up the defensive woes, is to limit the turnovers here. 9 in the first half already. And even though Mount St. Mary's been getting in the way of a few passes, you should not have 9 turnovers against a 3-2 zone.
Roy fades. Too short. Figueroa with the rebound. Now it's Raka. He's got the smaller Batesh on him. Tries to take advantage, can't. Rebound layup does not go as well. And here comes Samit.
Yeah, but that's a good job there recognizing the advantage in size and posting up Batesh on the transition break.
Batesh with Figueroa draped over him. Now here comes the double on Zucker. He splits it. Samit outside. Could he get going?
Yes, sir.
So Samit connects on the triple. He's got the last 5 Max points.
That's what's up, Charlie. You get him to the free throw line, and he's going to hit his next 3.
I like that. That's what's up.
That's what's up.
Now they attack him on the defensive end. Raka finishes the layup.
Yeah, it's a good job recognizing positioning. Zebi's got to get around him there.
Batesh, that's deep. Oh, boy. The three-point shooters heating up for the Maccabees. They're up 1.
Yeah, that's the first Max lead since we were in single digits.
Batesh has got 10. Second in scoring, only behind Roy Ikovic, who's got 11. That's going to be a foul on number 11.
Yeah, and Coach Steinmetz is incensed on the bench. I think they're trying to get Samit for a hold there.
Foul's on number 21, Zevi Samit. He put up 11, and I was a little confused because there is no 11 on the court right now. But Zevi Samit is the one who's called for the foul. It'll be a 1-on-1.
Yeah, that looked like a situation where in football you call a hold before the pass, but like the hold's not there after the pass. So it's like he's holding him a little bit, but before the pass happens, he's already letting go, and you could see, I mean, his defender was breaking loose there. If that was a good pass, that's an easy bucket.
Well, in football, if you hold after the pass is thrown, that would be a pass interference.
Right, that was definitely not a pass interference.
Yeah. First free throw good, so he'll get another one. Tie ball game. Raka hits them both. 1:45 to go in the first half. Max down a point. Samit now. Off to Zucker. Picks up his dribble, swings it cross court to Batesh. Down to Roden. Samit catches. Pulls up from the free throw line. Too short, but he'll grab his own rebound. Roden now. Shuffled his feet. Nothing gets called. Who's wants the ball? Still rolling around. The Max got it, and they got a fresh 30.
Ooh, they got lucky there. That should not have been a fresh 30. Mount St. Mary never had possession.
Roden's way off on the 3. Missed everything. So an empty possession. A lot going on.
Yeah, and Zucker complaining that he was getting held there, and he's got a little bit of an argument.
Yearwood bring up the ball for the Knights. Rodin on him. Bryan inside. Turns, floats, and finishes.
Yeah, that's a nice little floater. Not much you can do there if you're Zucker. You kind of have to give him that shot. That's how you play defense.
Roy open down low. A little late to him. Gives it inside to Zucker, but another turnover. And here comes Walsh. Misses the lay. Who wants the rebound? It'll be Batesh as Roy threw it off of a Knights player. Ball stayed in bounds. Zucker gets fouled. Bodies flying everywhere. Game a little all over the place right now.
Yeah, and Zucker is a little bit incensed. He's getting held a little bit on the defensive end. He's getting pushed around on the break. He's getting worked a little bit here.
Michael Natkin checks into the game looking to clean it up for the Max defensively.
Yeah, and it looked like they called that one on Ryan Graham. That's his third foul. Coach K's decision to put on Figueroa and Graham with the 2 personal fouls may hurt him a little bit here. I don't know how you deal with that. That's pretty difficult to deal with going into the second half.
It'll be a 1-on-1 for Zucker. Gets the first one to fall, so he'll get another chance. Coming up at halftime, we're going to have Daniel Malul
Yeah,
back
Max
in the
Live
booth.
Announcer.
Max Live announcer last year. He's got a great voice for it. He's going to tell us a little about his experience and about the Max this season. Shot clock turned off. Max down 2. It's Yearwood for the Knights. Figueroa is going to set him a screen. Coach K barking at orders from the sidelines. Here comes Figueroa. Sets that screen. Yearwood off the bounce. Can't get the layup to fall. Samet grabs. There's 1 second left. He's going to have to heave. He's not going to be able to. Halftime in the Max Stern Athletic Center. Knights 41, Max 39. We're going to go to a quick commercial break and be back with Malul and our halftime show. Do not go anywhere.
My story started with a letter in the mail. I took my first steps in New York and felt the energy all around me.
I connected with my Rebbe on the first day of Shir.
My story was learning that the mitochondria is more than just the powerhouse of the cell.
I made my painting from scratch, like really from scratch.
My roommates came here from 4 different countries. We lit one menorah together.
My story was practice every night.
Chavruta every night.
Subway rides, city lights.
In my story, my name was in the headlines.
The bylines. The University Museum.
My story was my internship at the Supreme Court.
Dancing with the Israeli flag in Times Square.
My story was participating in the only hackathon, not on Shabbat.
The Career Center found me my first job at a top business analytics firm.
My story was becoming best friends with my chavruta.
And holding that NCAA trophy.
My story started here.
My story is just beginning.
It's going to be a celebration like we've never seen before. Deeply rooted in the Torah, inspired by our core Torah values, committed to academic excellence and geared to empower our students, the leaders of tomorrow. The flagship Jewish university is on the rise, rising in national rankings, soaring in student enrollment, launching top-tier academic programs, and helping secure great jobs and impactful careers for our graduates. Hakol l'chvodo. I invite you to join the Yeshiva University community on Sunday, December 4th at our 98th annual Hanukkah dinner, where we'll experience the impact and celebrate our achievements. This promises to be an extraordinary night and an incredible new space, an evening filled with entertainment, no speeches, and a unique experience that celebrates our Rise Up campaign. I look forward to seeing you there. It's going to be a celebration like we've never seen before. Deeply rooted in the Torah, inspired by our core Torah values, committed to academic excellence and geared to empower our students, the leaders of tomorrow. The flagship Jewish university is on the rise. We're rising in national rankings, soaring in student enrollment, launching top-tier academic programs, and helping secure great jobs and impactful careers for our graduates. Hakol Lichvodo. I invite you to join the Yeshiva University community on Sunday, December 4th at our 98th annual Hanukkah dinner, where we'll experience the impact and celebrate our achievements. This promises to be an extraordinary night in an incredible new space, an evening filled with entertainment, no speeches, and a unique experience that celebrates our Rise Up campaign. I look forward to seeing you there.
Hello and welcome back into the Max Stern Athletic Center for the halftime show. The first half sees the Knights up by a score of 41-39 on the Max, and we are now joined in the booth by an extremely special guest, a Max legend, Daniel Malul. Daniel, it's good to have you back with us.
It's great to be back in this booth. I spent a lot of time here alongside you, Charlie. Very happy to be here.
Now let's get right into it. What are your thoughts on this game right now? What have you seen so far?
I think the Max have had a little bit of trouble spacing against this Mount St. Mary's zone. I think we've seen that from last season. I think we've seen that a bit this season when it comes to a zone, whether it's the 2-3 or the 2-1-2 the Knights have played tonight. They have a bit of trouble spacing. But I think towards the end of that first half, they did a much better job being able to get inside and maybe spread the ball around. I think if they can do that, then they'll be able to stick with it as they've cut the lead down. They've been hanging so far, so if they can keep up the ability to space and break the zone, it should be okay.
Now, you came from a time, right, you were announcing during what I like to call the Ryan Terrell era.
Yeah.
That era is now over. There is a new group, a new band, a new cast of Max players. What do you think about them thus far?
I think so far they've shown great chemistry together. This is a team that has shown that they're willing to do whatever it takes to make up for whatever that the previous legends have left off. And they have shown that they want to make their own legacy. So I think they play well together. I think everyone understands that we're playing as a team. We're not 5 individuals. We're one team. I think that everyone gets along well. You can tell the energy is great. They're all very positive. Everyone's got each other's backs. It was Roy Itkovich who told you after the game against Amherst that he's never played on a team with such great chemistry. I think that's the key for them. As long as they can keep that chemistry together and that teamwork, then this Max team will be able to keep up the greatness that Ryan Terrell and Gabe Leifer, Nofek Reef, and everyone else left for them.
Yeah, the camaraderie on this team, very noticeable. Now, let's talk about you. Now, obviously, you were a Max Live legend, all-time guy. I had the pleasure of broadcasting with you. How did you get into it in the first place? What made you so passionate about broadcasting?
Well, the pleasure is all mine, Charlie. It was great to announce all those games alongside you as well.
Stop that.
I mean, I got into it when I was a child. I always used to, love watching the games, and I used to notice that some games were better than others, and the reason really was the announcer. An announcer has the ability to really enhance the game for the fans watching at home. When you're here in the gym, you can really just build off of the momentum that the other fans around you bring. When you're at home, it's a little harder to do that, so the announcer really does have a way of getting you into it. So whether it's a big moment and they just say the right thing. So I used to love watching, for example, Mike Breen and Marv Albert, my personal favorites for basketball. And I think you see that across sports as well. So I thought I'm a person who, whenever I enter a room, I can bring a lot of energy, and I always wanted to do that. And the spark for me to start it for Max Live was actually my first semester when I was in the gym and I was just watching Ryan Terrell and Gabe Leifer warm up, and I would every now and then just call out whatever they were doing, and they walked over to me and said, "You have a great voice. You really need to be one of our announcers. Are you already?" I said, "No," and they told me, "You have to do this," and I wasn't sure about it. And the next night, the whole team told me, "No, you must do it. We need you on call." And from then on, I did sign up for Max Live, and I've done it ever since. So that's how I got into it, and it's one of my highlights here from YU, one of my best memories ever.
Yeah, and I could say I was obviously, the boss, I guess, if you will, when Malul was on the call.
Yeah, that's right.
And obviously Malul was very good at improving and taking feedback and getting better, and I think the viewers will be able to see that. I have to pose a sort of SJ question. They always ask, you had a great defensive game today. What advice do you have for kids to get better at defending? So I have to ask you, what advice do you have for kids to get better at announcing? being that you yourself were able to improve at announcing over your time here at Max Live?
That's a great question, Akiva. I think for me, I think announcing, there's a few things you have to really work on. One, you have to get used to talking in front of big crowds. On these games, we have thousands of people tuning in every night. It can maybe be a bit daunting. You have to get used to speaking in front of big crowds. For some people, that comes more naturally than others. That's something you can always work on. At any time in a given situation, when there's 10, 20 people in a room, feel free to speak up if you've got a point to say. That's one. Two, it's make sure that you keep constant track of whatever team you're announcing for. Make sure you're understanding the players so you can give it insight that sometimes fans might not know, and make sure that you understand the players themselves so you can pick up certain things that maybe your average fan watching the game might miss. I would also say that you have to keep track of the stats. It's a lot of work. It's not just announcing and calling the games right in front of you. It's understanding the stats that happen throughout the season and throughout the game as well. It's a lot of memorization of the data, so that might take a little bit more work. And the last thing is don't be afraid to take initiative and bring energy, because listen, you're setting the pace for the fans at home who are watching. The fans here, they've got the energy taken care of for them, but for the fans at home, you want them to get into it. You want them to be excited. Feel free to be the one that leads. Don't be a leader, and feel free to get them into it. Be enthusiastic. Bring your A game. Get a little crazy if need be. That's really what everyone loves. Everyone loves a big moment, and when an announcer just says the right thing at the right time. I know that I had many of those moments, whether it was when Ryan Terrell scored 51 points against Bendheim last year, or when he became the all-time leading scorer, a game Charlie was alongside me for.
There we go.
So, it's really those three things. You be passionate about it, get into it, don't be afraid to take excited, get used to being in front of big crowds, and really just keep track of your teams. And the earlier you start, the better. So a lot of people listening, if your school has a team and an announcing system, go for it. I actually didn't have one back in my high school. My high school didn't have a team for that matter. So, if you get an early start in high school, or hey, even elementary school, if that's a thing, go for it. The earlier you start, the better. This is something that really is just a matter of doing it over and over again, and practice does make perfect.
Very well said. And have you ever thought about going into audiobooks?
I never have, but there was one time where I did send my friend a recording for a reading back in one of my semesters, and he said, you should do audiobooks too. Yeah. So I thought, okay, maybe I have a bunch of careers set in front of me, but I didn't really consider that one. Currently, I'm on pace to go to law school soon, and I currently work in a law firm as a paralegal. So I've chosen the law career, but maybe if that doesn't work out, I can go to announcing.
Very nice. Well, Daniel, thank you so much for joining us here. Your insight is really second to none, and it's just so good to be back with you, and enjoy the rest of the game.
Yeah, thank you. So great to be back in this booth. So many happy moments for me, so many great memories. Happy to be back here.
We're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with halftime stats and second half action here from the Max Stern Athletic Center. Do not go anywhere.
When I was in 9th grade, someone told me to give up on ball. He told me, basketball will only take you so far in life. You're not going to make it to the NBA, he said. What he was missing is that making it to the NBA isn't the only reason why we play. The game of basketball leaves you with so much more than just the game itself. The life lessons and friendships that are made while playing the game will outlive the game and can last a lifetime.
My story started with a letter in the mail. I took my first steps in New York and felt the energy all around me.
I connected with my Rebbe on the first day of Shir.
My story was learning that the mitochondria is more than just the powerhouse of the cell.
I made my painting from scratch, like really from scratch.
My roommates came here from 4 different countries. We lit one menorah together.
My story was practice every night.
Chavruta every night.
Subway rides, city lights.
In my story, my name was in the headlines.
The bylines. The University Museum.
My story was my internship at the Supreme Court.
Dancing with the Israeli flag in Times Square.
My story was participating in the only hackathon, not on Shabbat.
The Career Center found me my first job at a top business analytics firm.
My story was becoming best friends with my chavruta.
And holding that NCAA trophy.
My story started here.
My story is just beginning.
Well, it was an entertaining first half, which sees the Max down 2. Halftime stats are brought to you by Leked Israel. Leked Israel, rescuing nutritious surplus food for Israelis in need. Akiva, what did you see there in the first half from both these teams?
Yeah, let's skip over YU's defensive struggles for a bit, because I think you could talk about that for 10 million years and you wouldn't get to the point. YU has had defensive struggles. Let's get that out of the way. Mount St. Mary's played actually quite well, and offensively they're generating some good looks and they're running their offense well and they're executing well. They only have 1 turnover. What I'm really, if you look at the stats, interested in is the fact that YU has been able to get 10 offensive rebounds, and despite that, they are still getting outshot in terms of shot attempts because they're turning the ball over so much. And off those offensive rebounds, they have generated 11 second chance points, 11 out of their 39, which isn't that bad. It's not great, but it's not that bad. But they've shot the ball decently well as well, too. Not great, but okay, fine. But because they've been turning the ball over so much, they haven't had the opportunity to score with Mount St. Mary. And obviously, if you have defensive struggles and the other team is executing and you're turning the ball over well, not that that's a thing you want to do well in, but they are doing it very well, you're going to struggle. And that's why we find the Max down 2 here.
Listen, this is a very winnable game for the Max. A game which the expectations going into it was, I don't want to say a blowout, but YU was supposed to take care of business tonight, and it hasn't been that way thus far. And you're right. Turnovers have been such a big issue for this Max team all year, and tonight, just more of the same. And rebounding has never been a strong suit of the Max.
No, it's really the offensive rebound opportunities are really being created by the 3-2. The Max are doing a good job of crashing the boards given the 3-2 situation, but those boards a lot of them are created because there are so few Mount St. Mary players near the bucket after a shot attempt goes up.
This Knights team sometimes decides to go into a man-to-man, but thus far they've not felt the need to. Max obviously struggling, working the ball inside.
I don't see any reason for them to. And speaking about this being a winnable game, the last 3 times the Max have played Mount St. Mary, they've won by a combined 93 points, an average of a 31-point win each time out. And the Max struggled against Purchase in what was supposed to be a game which they were, on paper, supposed to be able to win easily, and now they're struggling here. I think this is a really big half. You do not want to lose a conference game after that NYU situation. It's a really important half for them to bounce back and get on track.
All right, 20 minutes on the clock, 2-point game. We're back for second half action as it's Samet for the Max. Picks up his dribble early, gives it off to Markovic. Samet. Itkovic. Bardichev. Itkovic cutting, and another turnover. So we pick up right where we left off.
How do you pick apart a 3-2 zone, Charlie? You got the ball in the high post. The Max didn't have a single high post possession there. They never got a touch in there. It's very difficult to pick apart a 3-2 zone when you're not going inside of it.
That looked strange. Barnett gets called for the travel, but yeah, if you're the Max, you're going to want to bring it up, swing once to the wing, and then look to work it inside.
Yeah, and Mount St. Mary has done a good job of getting their hands in the passing lanes, but how about a shot fake? Maybe we haven't seen really any shot fakes. We haven't seen any ball fakes.
Oh, that's not good.
That's a lazy pass.
Another turnover, and this time finished off by number 13, Ryan Graham.
Yeah, that's turnover number 12 for Yeshiva, which is it's very difficult to win if you're going to turn the ball over 20 times a game.
Samet, Zucker, teardrop, nothing but net. And when it works, it looks so simple. But the Max just not being smart with the basketball. Graham now. Samet doing a good job on him. Figueroa. Barnett to Figueroa inside. Ooh, Markovic blocked him, but gets called for the foul. Figueroa helping him up. It's good sportsmanship. We always like to see that.
Yeah, and you see Coach K is trusting Figueroa at the top of the key to be a distributor, and he hasn't been so great from there so far this year. Coming into this game, 9 assists, 23 turnovers, but he's done a good job tonight not being foolish with the basketball and keeping good possession of it and just making the simple pass.
First shot rims out. Patesh checking into the game. Markovic taking a seat.
Yeah, Markovic has 3 fouls. He's only played 7 minutes. This time it's having to use a substitution here just 1.5 minutes into the half.
Second shot good. 3-point game.
There's that little press, but as long as the Macs get it over half court, expect them to go back into their 3-2.
They do just that. And back go the Knights. Now it's Samet. Cross court, Batesh. Now it's Zucker. Twist and turn. Almost turns the ball over. Berdichev with the athletic catch into Zucker. He's got an open layup and finishes.
It's a good job by Zucker recognizing that open space in the lane, which was created by his little post up.
Ryan a three. Too short. Barnett grabs the rebound. Back up with it. Lead back up to 3.
Yeah, and Barnett, obviously a scorer, but he hasn't had to do much of that tonight, just 4 points. But an efficient 4 points at that.
Samet. That'll be a 3. He's made his last 2.
Yes, sir. I'm telling you, those free throws, if the Macs come back in this game and Zebi gets a little hot, those free throws are the difference maker.
It's Yearwood. Graham answers.
Yeah, it's his first 3 of the night, but I mean, just a dominant shooting performance from Mount St. Mary to this point. Only their third 3-pointer, but they've just been hitting most of their shots.
Now it's Samet again. Matan by the low block. Cross court Batesh, catch and shoot. Back and forth we go with the triples.
Yeah, that's the second low block to corner pass from Zucker to Batesh, and Coach K needs a 30-second timeout.
We're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. (49-49), second half, 3 minutes in, and it's been, I guess, sloppy for the Macs, but they also have been able to hit shots.
Yeah, I mean, not the greatest start to the second half. The Macs already have 2 turnovers on just 6 possessions, but on the other 4 possessions, they're 4 for 4, and they're 2 for 2 from 3. And so we're tied.
Sort of been how this game has gone. Macs haven't been playing poorly when they've gotten the shots up. The issue is they're turning the ball over way too many times, giving this Knights team more opportunities. That's a 3, crying, no good. Batesh with the rebound.
It's a great job by Roy there on the front, and then on the box out there of Figueroa.
Zucker, ill-advised pass. It's going to be going down to the Knights. I don't think Zevi touched it, but you know what, not a lot of arguing. So maybe he did.
But that's why are we passing it from there to there? It doesn't make any sense, Charlie. I mean, it's a freshman mistake. I mean, not necessarily all the mistakes here have been made by freshmen, but that's what some of these mistakes have been.
Raka checked into the game for the Knights. Barnett now puts the ball on the deck. Bardichev does a nice job closing out, but he looks to be hurt, but also smiling, so I can't really tell what the deal is. I don't know if he really knows what the deal is either.
Looks just like a little limp.
Maybe a Charlie horse.
Yeah, he's grabbing his hammy.
Is he checking out of the game or is he staying in?
Oh, he's got to check out.
He's checking out. Margusov will check in.
I'm surprised to see him not going to the trainer. The trainer is going over to him and pulling him to the trainer's table. Got to take a look just in case.
Inbounded to Batesh. Knights in this press. Broken by the Maccabees. And they'll look to get something going on the offensive end. Samet now. Falls. Gets back up. Holds his foot. Impressive play. Zucker now. Samet in the corner. gets called for standing on the out-of-bounds line. That's the second time tonight he's been called for that.
And that was a good job by Zucker, recognizing the space and that he would have to be closed on, and that would give Samet an open three-point attempt.
Rivera and Brandon Graham check into the game. Ryan, Graham, and Yearwood checking out.
And it's tough here in the Max Stern Athletic Center. There's not a lot of space in general around the court, but around those three-point lines with the extended line, there's really not a lot of space to work with.
That'll be, they're calling a foul or a kickball? They're calling a foul on Matan. That'll be his second foul. Let's see, he's looking to front Figueroa right there.
Yeah, he had a little grab on Figueroa on the back.
Figueroa now twisting, turning. Ooh. Missed what looked like the easiest part of that whole entire move, which was the layup. Margasov got away with the travel, but throws it away nonetheless. Figueroa now, a chance at redemption, and he does just that. This has been sloppy by the Maccabees.
Yeah, that's the 15th turnover for the Macs, and their 5th this half.
It's Roy. Batash pumps, gets inside, and hits the shot. And as you mentioned before, just a simple pump fake opening things up.
Yeah, and I want to say that's a good job by Mount St. Mary running him off the line there. And that's also a good job of Batesh recognizing that he was bringing on off the line and doing the little shot fake, and then easy two.
This time it's the Macs who get the steal. And now it's Zucker. Batesh. Offensive foul on Margasov. Another turnover. Roy going to check out. Landau going to check in. Walsh going to check in. Barnett going to check out. Cryan going to check in.
Yeah,
Figueroa going to check out.
Charlie, that's the right call. Margasov is kind of moving there into the Mount St. Mary player, using his shoulder to shove him aside.
It's Rocca now. Cryan. No good. Patash. Samet. Landau. Open three. High arcer. Yep.
Yeah, Gov last game against NYU was 2 for 2 and 1 for 1 from three. He hits his open three-pointers. He's almost 40% from three. He only takes open three-pointers, but you can't leave him open like that.
Cryan with the teardrop. No pun intended.
Very good, Charlie.
Thank you. I try, as that was a dangerous pass by Landau. Max got bailed out. As Matan hit a three after the whistle was blown. So that will make him 2 for 2 from three, 1 for 1 in the actual game. Yeah, 1 for 1 after the whistle.
I wonder if Farmingdale State is watching and they are curious what is going on, because Farmingdale State is known to sag about 15 feet off of Zucker and he never shoots it. Maybe things are changing here in the Heights a little bit.
I mean, it really opened things up for the Max offense.
Oh, for sure. That would really open things, because if you can't sag on Zucker if he's going to hit his shots, and if you're not sagging on him, all those cuts are open.
Natkin checked into the game, and now it's Samet with 10 on the shot clock. Natkin, a long two, rims out. Who wants the rebound? It is Cryan.
Yeah, Natkin was quite impressive against NYU, and he's been impressive in the limited minutes he's gotten on the floor so far this year. I mean, he was called for 5 fouls against NYU in the span of about 10 minutes, and he gets called for one here, too.
Always love when players do, as we say. As you see the replay there of the call being made.
I don't like when a player makes a silly foul, but I don't like when a player doesn't foul. I mean, if you're on the floor, you have to foul at some point, so else what are you doing, right? The worst stat line you can possibly have is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. I mean, at least commit a foul, right?
Yeah, that would be an offensive foul. Zucker draws it, and he looks a little shaken up. Matan Zucker is such an interesting player because so much of the Max offense runs through him, and he can do a bunch of different things, and he's able to drive inside. He loves his left hand. Shooting not really there, but he could pass. I don't want to say a controversial player because he's been solid, but He really is a focal point of this offense. Someone who, when he performs well, the Max usually follow suit. As I say that, he drives inside and gets called for the offensive foul.
And the refs are going to discuss this. Players holding ground. It's really a question of if he's in a circle or not. And
so the foul's actually going to be called on number 21, Connor Cryan.
That's a reversal right there.
And that will send Zucker to the line for his shots. Zucker been hitting his outside shots. Something nagging him, though, on his backside. Hopefully he's able to get that sorted out. 12:45 to go in the game. Max up 1 by the score of 54-53. A sloppy game, one that the Max sort of need early on in this season.
Yeah, it's a big conference game. It's a big, just general game in terms of the storyline of the season. And frankly, if they stop turning the ball over, they're going to win this game too. I mean, I don't want to harp on it too much, but they have 6 turnovers in the second half, and they have 7 shots in the second half, and of the 7 shots, they've made 6.
So Zucker's found his stroke here. Roy going to check in. Zucker going to take a seat.
Yeah, he's been shooting better from the free throw line of late. Had a 4 for 5 game a few days ago.
Rivera now. Graham. Walsh. Figueroa jockeying for position with Roy. Graham. Salmon on him, gets called for a foul. Fans don't like it. Salmon not one to complain.
Yeah, but that looked like a good job by Zevi defensively. I mean,
see the replay here.
He's got one hand up. I can't imagine they call the foul if he's got 2 hands up. He's not really making much contact there at all. Kind of you'd like to see him let him play sort of situation.
First shot no good by Brandon Graham. Rob Tansey checked into the game for the Knights, getting his first minutes. So Graham goes 1 of 2 from the line. He'll take a seat. Chris Yearwood checks back in.
And Graham's been shooting well from the floor this year. He came into this game just 29 from the floor, but he's 3 for 5 tonight and 1 for 1 from 3. Although just 1 for 3 from the line. But a good sign for the freshman to get going here in his 8th game.
Another offensive foul and another turnover. This is getting a little ridiculous.
Now you've got 2 Macs who have played 7 minutes and have 3 fouls. Landau and Markovich, the 2 best defenders on the team.
That's a pull-up jumper, no good. Figueroa on the rebound, no good on the follow, but gets fouled.
Yeah, and the Macs got a little lucky there. Roy was the one in help, and Zevi came to help too. That means someone would have been open if Figueroa would have kicked out there. And Roy's pointing that out right now to Zevi, standing on the line.
Figueroa with a chance to tie the game. He can knock these down. Can't get the first one to fall. Matan back into the game. Landau back to the bench. 12 minutes to go. Figueroa good on the second. That'll give him 13 on the game. It's Roy. Cross court Natkin. Roy gets it back. Pull up Jimmy. Bottom.
Yeah, Roy loves that shot, and he's the max almost leading scorer because Oren still got 18. He's at 16 now, but he's shooting 6 for 10 from the floor. Just a nice night from him overall, both sides of the floor. He's been playing quite well.
Figueroa right at Zucker. Natkin, Roy wide open. Gives it up to Samet. He'll try his luck from 3, too short. Ball hits off the stanchion.
Yeah, and you like the unselfishness there from Roy. I mean, he's probably a little afraid to shoot that early in the shot clock, but the shot was wide open. He sees his roommate Zevi standing there in the corner. Wants to help him out a little bit on the score sheet.
Bardichev back into the game for the Max. He'll have the task of guarding Figueroa. As a steal there caused by Batesh, and now it's Roy. Zucker now. Batesh. Zucker open for 3. Let's see if he's not shooting it now. And it's Samet. Zucker, do it again. Nope.
That was close though, Charlie. That was a quick nope.
I just saw it out of the hand. It just didn't look too smooth. Probably should have waited. Nonetheless, it's Yearwood. Little give and go inside. Foul and 1. The Knights take the lead.
Yeah, I thought that was fine defense there from Zucker. Hands are up. Guess they called him for being in the circle there. But that's minimal contact and straight up defense.
It's a contact sport. And you got to let the guys play. You don't just get a layup for free if you're taking it in strong.
No, and something to look out for here. The Max are up to 8 fouls just 10 minutes into this half.
Klein can't get the free throw to fall. So the Knights only up 1. Batesh. Zucker. Roy. That's a 3. Short. Klein's got the board.
Yeah, but that was a good job there by Batesh and Zucker. Batesh dribbling to create space on the right side of the floor by drawing in some players to the left side of the floor, and Zucker passing to an open Itkovich.
3's no good, misses everything. Samet cannot corral the rebound. It rolls out of bounds, so it'll stay with the Knights. Max came out of the halftime locker room, turning the ball over, have done a little bit of a better job of working the ball around and getting some open looks.
Yeah, but they still have 7 turnovers in this half, and Mount St. Mary actually has 4 turnovers in this half, following up their 1 in the first.
So both teams sort of trying to get the other ones involved.
Yeah, they're trying to help each other a little bit too much, right?
Gotta love the giving. Figueroa doesn't get the layup to fall, and the ball will roll out of bounds.
Looks like a little bit of an awkward-looking shot there from Figueroa with Zucker sitting on his shoulder.
Decided to use his right hand instead of the hook with the left. Now it's the versatile big Zucker. So the other versatile big Bardichev. Roy gets it back. Zucker with 10. Batesh into Zucker, who gets fouled and 1. Unselfish basketball leading to a chance at a 3-point play for Matan Zucker.
Yeah, that's some good basketball from the Max. Some give and go there, right? Batesh drawing in the defender from the baseline.
He's really utilized that pump fake in the second half.
I mean, he's really been the only Mac who's utilized that pump fake, but it's worked quite well. I'd like to see some of the other guys use it too.
And Zucker puts the Max up 2. So here comes Graham. Gets ahead of speed, head of steam, loses it, gets it back, and now it's Figueroa. A 3 from the top of the key. Bottom. The big showing the versatility.
Yeah, he's now 2 for 3 from 3 today. I said earlier in the broadcast he came in just shooting 30%, but he clearly can shoot a little bit.
Samet gets blocked. Foul on number 13, Ryan Graham. That'll be the 5th team foul on the Knights as Cryan takes the seat and Raka checks back into the game. Things coming down to the wire a little bit here. Around 9 minutes to go, 1-point game. No team has been able to pull away just yet. Now it's Samet. Batesh, that's a long three. Golly. He can really shoot the basketball.
Oh, he's money. He's 6 for 7 from 3 tonight, Charlie.
Yearwood looks to answer. Never really got set. And it's Zucker now. Samet. Roy. Ill-advised pass gets taken away. And here comes Graham. That's not it. Rebound, though, is put up and in and one. Elijah Barnett, with the athletic play, grabs that rebound, goes back up with it, gets fouled, and puts the ball in the hoop.
Yeah, and I'm really not sure what Samet is looking at there. I mean, the player he's trying to pass to is pretty much defended, and he's trying to make a 20-foot pass.
Barnett no good on the free throw. Who's going to get called for a violation? It's going to be Samet. Samet gets called for the violation.
And we were pointing out earlier on that this Mount St. Mary defense is kind of designed to take away three-pointers. But the Macs are 11 for 22 from 3, and Oren Batesh's three-point percentage for the year is up to 56.5%.
That's otherworldly.
I mean, that would be a D3 record, obviously, for the number of shots he's taken. It's a little early in the season, though, to crown him.
Batesh now. Bardachev. He likes that shot, does Roy, and he connects.
Yeah, that's a money shot from Roy.
Timeout called by Coach Stebbins. And with that, we're going to send it back down to the third member of our crew, the always dashing S.J. Tannenbaum. S.J.?
Thank you, Charlie. This past Thursday night, the Macs lost to NYU, allowing 108 points. That is the most amount of points allowed that the Macs have allowed during the Coach Stebbins era. The previous high amount of points the Macs allowed previously was 98 against the Purchase College Panthers on February 18th, 2019. The Macs had a record-setting night this past Thursday night in all the wrong ways, but it's great to see the fans coming back out here to the Max Stern Athletic Center to support their beloved Maccabees. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thank you, S.J. Yeah, Thursday night was not it for the Macs, and in terms of the Jewish community, a lot of Jews showed up to that game from NYU. Obviously, they have a big Chabad downtown.
Yeah, NYU also has a couple of Jewish players themselves. We saw Spencer Friedman. We saw Ephraim Reed off the bench.
Doesn't get much more Jewish than that.
Can't get much more Jewish than Ephraim Reed, right? I mean, maybe, you know, Ephraim Goldstein. Or that's pretty close.
But not a great showing by the Maccabees. But onward and hopefully upward. With 8 minutes to go in the game, Macs up by a score 66-64.
I feel like I'm doing a review of this every 4 minutes, but in this half, in the span of 12 minutes, the Macs have 8 turnovers and they're 10 for 14 from the floor.
So when they've shot the ball, they've been good as Bardachev gets the steal. But the inability to get shots up has been the issue. Samet. Roy. They're giving him it. Now they close on him. Bardachev. Catch and shoot. Nothing but net.
Yeah, and I like that shot there from Bardachev, recognizing the corner is wide open there. His first three-point attempt of the night. He's been a little cold to start his college career, but in terms of shooting the ball, he's got potential.
Bardachev on the defensive end this time causes the jump ball. It's going to stay. Nope. Yes, it's going to stay with the Knights. That'll be a timeout. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Hey, Max fans. This is Joseph Gittler, founder and chairman of Leket Israel, YC Class of '96. It's citrus season in Israel. We need to rescue millions of pounds of these citrus fruit to feed the needy just over the next few months. So please give us a hand. Help the winning team, Leket Israel, and the other winning team. Go Mac!
Welcome back into the Max Stern Athletic Center. We have 7:17 to go in the game. Max up 5 by a score of 69-64, and the shooting has come alive for the Maccabees down the stretch.
Yeah, it's been a lot of Itkovich. It's been a lot of Patesh. And now we see Bardachev getting involved in the fun. It's kind of key here for the Max to continue their defense. I mean, improvement, I guess, if you want to call it, in terms of forcing turnovers. I mean, other than that, they still haven't been that great. Mount St. Mary is shooting 50% from the floor for the game, which is well above their season average. But at least the Max have been able to force a few turnovers. They're getting their hands in the way of some passes.
Now the big men for each team being able to shoot the ball. Bardachev with his first 3. Zucker has a 3. Figueroa, 2 of 3 from three-point land. Showing the ability to shoot. The new age of big men.
Yeah, I'm interested to see when Coach K puts Ryan Graham back in the game, sitting on 4 fouls. He's obviously played quite well when he's been on the floor.
And now it's Yearwood. Bardachev gets called for the block. Not a smart foul. That'll be 2 shots, as it's the 10th foul on the Max, and they'll have 2 shots will deny the rest of the way.
I think not a smart foul is probably an understatement there, Charlie. The Max have to be very careful to not be committing foolish off-the-ball fouls for the next 7 minutes, or they're going to keep Mount St. Mary right where Mount St. Mary wants to be.
Chris Yearwood. He's been pretty quiet tonight as he hits the first. That's only his 3rd points of the game. He's been a player that Coach K has leaned on. He's a senior, averaging just above 10 points a game. No good on the second, but he's been held in check thus far. He'll look to get going as the clock winds down on the Saturday night edition of Max Live, Max Basketball. It's Roy pivoting, twisting, turning.
Yeah, a bit lucky there with the foul. If the Max could have reversed the ball there quickly, they would have gotten an open 3-point attempt for Zevi Samet.
Roy into Zevi. Patesh, now Zucker. Ooh,
Yeah,
missed Samet.
Missed
Missed him again, as the fans wanted him to get it. But Patesh, an open 3 will do. Can't get it to fall, though. Ball staying with the Max, as both Rivera and Rocca had some trouble corralling the rebound.
Yeah, and those baseline cuts are just wide open, and they've been there all game, and Zucker's got to get his head up a little bit and be looking for that.
Bardachev, he'll try a 3. Wow, that was pretty.
Yeah, you can't leave Dotan Bardachev wide open from 3. I mean, his numbers might not tell the full story so far this year, but there's a reason he sits on the 3-point line a lot.
Rivera, tough finish inside. Now it's Patesh. Patesh had Samet for a second, decides to go back to Roy. Samet, open 3, he's got to have it, and he does.
Yeah, and both Samet and Bardachev were just running, we called below the motion line, running by the baseline, but it's just so wide open, they have to take advantage of it.
Bardachev, now it's Zucker. Can he finish underneath? No good. Roy cleans it up. Bardachev been great on the defensive end. That's his 3rd steal of the game.
And this is a massive run here for the Max, a 13-3 run, as the Max had called for a foul there. Zucker was trying to front.
It's also Bardachev's 4th steal of the game. As you see the Samet 3. Hasn't been really his night, but he still is into double digits. 10 points.
And we were talking about it at halftime. The Max had 10 offensive rebounds. That's just their 2nd offensive rebound of the half. It is very hard to have offensive rebounds, though, when you don't miss shots. And it's hard to miss shots when you're shooting well and you're turning the ball over on half the possessions, right?
Absolutely, as Figueroa hits the first.
So that was a good job there by Roy, recognizing that Zucker was going up for the shot and crashing the glass.
Second shot, no good. Who wants the rebound? Foul's going to be called on Roy. That'll give Matthew Walsh 2 shots. Athletic play, rising above the taller Ivkovic.
Yeah, and if Mount St. Mary wants to creep back into this game that they've kind of fallen out of in the last few minutes, it's going to need to be at the line, where they've struggled a little bit, just 10 for 19 from the night. But every max foul, they're going there for 2.
Another miss by the Knights at the free throw line. Lead stays at the score of 68-77.
And with just 5:32 on the clock, I like Coach Steinman just keeping Ivkovic in the game here, even though he has 4.
0 for 2, so the foul doesn't really hurt the Max as the Knights' struggles continue from the line.
Yeah,
and here
Ivkovic's got a double-double now, 20 and 10.
Bardichev, fancy, 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 fancy. The Pesh finishes the layup.
Nice little look away there.
Figueroa twists and turns and gets the layup to roll in.
Yeah, Figueroa has just been straight cash from the floor, 21 points for the game, up to 8 for 13 overall.
Samet cross court, dangerous pass. It gets there. He wants it back. Zucker getting harassed. Patesh will slow it down with 10 on the shot clock. Bardichev, step back, Jimmy Johnson. No good.
Yeah, that was a really good job there by number 13, Ryan Graham, not allowing Zucker to pass out of the high post to his left where he had an open shooter, getting his hands up, getting his body in the way, and forcing Zucker to go back to his right.
It's Ryan. Walsh, Figueroa. He'll get fouled by Zucker before he got the shot up. Doesn't matter because he'll get 2 free throws.
Yeah, and those are just killer. He's not making a lot of contact, but I mean, you have to know, you have to let the contact come to you a little bit when you're in the double bonus situation, especially when you're up by 9, right? It's not like it's a situation where you're down and you have to play as physical defense as possible with the hope of just getting the ball back.
And that'll be Matan's 4th foul. So something to look out for. A few Max in foul trouble.
Yeah, Ivkovic, Zucker, and for Mount St. Mary, Graham all have 4 fouls here.
Refs have been calling it pretty tight.
Yeah, it's an understatement, Charlie.
Knights have not been making their free throws, although Figueroa gets the second of the 2 to fall. And the lead is now 8 for the Maccabees. Patesh. Zucker. Bardichev keeps it alive. Ball on the floor. Who's got it? It is the Knights. And number 13, Graham. Walsh. Bounces off of him. Bardichev again on the defensive end, making things happen. Barnett going to check back into the game. Walsh going to take a seat. But Bardichev been impressive today on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, Bardichev is not afraid to use his hands, which obviously can get called a bit, but it can also harass the player who is guarding him there if forced a turnover.
It's Zucker. Bardichev. Samet with Barnett on him. Bardichev catch and shoot. Short. Zucker almost got the rebound. It goes to Barnett, and here comes Yearwood.
Yeah, that was a great possession, though, from Bardichev, screening the zone and screening a man there.
3 no good. Roy's got the rebound. Coach K giving the referee an earful.
And that's fantastic recognition to slow down, not having numbers and with the clock in your advantage.
Samet showing off his bunnies as Roy catches inside on a nice feed from Bardichev. .10 game, 3 minutes to go. Max, if they could put together a couple of stops and a couple buckets, could pull away. Figueroa finds Barnett. That's too easy.
Yeah, we see Zevi taking his time here, slowing the ball down.
It's Zucker. Batesh. Roy. Zevi. Catch and shoot three. Got it. That's a big-time shot.
Yeah, and he's 3 of 4 from 3 since those free throws in the first half, Charlie.
Figueroa. That would have been dirty. Doesn't fall.
Kind of like an inside story.
Foul's going to be called on Bardachev. He doesn't like it. Looks like both players just got tangled up. Referees really inserting themselves into the game tonight. We'll see it here on the replay. Both just fighting for position. It doesn't look like much.
What is he supposed to do there, Charlie?
Fans don't like it either.
And Coach Steinmetz still arguing his point with the ref on the sideline, and you heard the crowd getting into it for really the first time here tonight.
First shot goes in by Cryan.
Yeah, Cryan's got a quiet 16. Hasn't been so effective here in the second half.
He was working well down low in the first. They were getting him the ball. He was using his body well. Second shot short. Bardachev grabs the rebound and almost throws it away. Foul called on number 13, Graham. So that'll send Batesh to the line for a 1-on-1.
Yeah, and that's Graham's 5th. He's gone for the night. These passes, though,
dangerous.
Very dangerous. I mean, kind of asking to get this down to single digits here.
If it's not a timeout, it is a timeout. Timeout called. That was unclear.
Well, it doesn't look like a timeout.
Maybe they were just giving them extra time because of the player that fouled out, and Graham. Interesting that that huddle was allowed to happen.
Yeah, the refs are not supposed to allow for extra time there. They're just supposed to allow for the substitution, and they subbed at the proper time because this is a 1-and-1 as opposed to a double bonus situation, so you sub before the first shot.
Batesh gets the first one to fall.
Tell me something I don't know, Charlie.
Nice. Lead up to 11. Batesh has been great all night. Second shot, same result. So Batesh has got 24 points. Knights make a couple changes. Figueroa into the game, Cryan into the game. And it's the other Graham brother after his brother fouled out.
Yeah, and Mount St. Mary has still shot the ball pretty well here tonight. They've just been hurt by a lot of turnovers.
Figueroa, beautiful offensive set. When they needed a bucket, the Knights get one.
Yeah, a lot of second half turnovers, 7 of them. And that's kind of been a big difference here between the first half and the second half.
Well, another turnover by the Max, and here comes Barnett. Inside, Dotan says no. Knights still have it. Layup doesn't fall, and here come the Max. It's Samet and Zucker. Samet draws contact, no foul called. Zucker underneath finishes it. And with 1:25 left, lead up to 12.
I kind of want to watch that replay back of the Bardachev block. We still got action going, Charlie. That was nice. I thought he was just going to hack him.
The way this game was going, I thought he was going to get called for a foul. As the 3 no good by Barnett.
I'm kind of surprised. Even if he would have gotten a perfect block, he probably still should have been called for a foul, right?
Exactly. Cross-court pass just to absolutely no one. Max staying true to form, turning the ball over even when things look pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
As a 30-second timeout called.
All you have to do there is hold the ball and wait 4 seconds and call it timeout, right? You're up by 12 with 1 minute left, and Oren Batesh is 5'8". He's not 6'8", right?
Even if he was 6'8", I don't know if he grabs that one. We'd like to thank our executive producer, Ezra Jacobs, our executive director, Ezra Jacobs, our executive producer, Ari Schopf, technical director, Aaron Traurig, Associate Technical Director Eitan Traurig, so the Traurig bros helping us out tonight,
We
as
call,
they
we
always
call
do.
him Mini Trow.
Mini Trow. Associate Director Moishe Rechester. Cameraman David Raviv, Ben Zukerman, Jordan Stebbins, and Ezra Emerson. And our sideline reporter, of course, S.J. Tannenbaum. Max looking to put the finishing touches on the Knights. It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been pretty. But they've gotten the job done nonetheless up to this point. Stay tuned after the game for our post-game show and our interview with the player of the game.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Oren Batesh, right? 6 for 8 from 3.
Yeah. Ooh, I thought it might have been a travel there. Yearwood, no good. Roy the rebound. 10-second differential between shot and game. Roy gets the ball past half court. Zucker now gets the ball stolen by Figueroa.
Yeah, and it looks like Coach K is calling for his players not to foul here and is instead going for a couple of substitutions and kind of resigning this game that his team played pretty well in.
Yeah, he can't be disappointed. Maybe is going to not love the turnovers, but
that first half was quite clean from them.
Yep, solid game. As Samet gets fouled.
So much for that, right?
Yeah, Coach K doesn't look happy, though, so he probably didn't want that foul to
I
happen.
don't think he wanted that to happen. All the fantasy league holders of Zevi Samet are very excited.
Yep. Samet's got 13 in the game. Had a bit of a rough go at it in the past few, but the second half has been better.
Yeah, I mean, now you can point to 3 games where he's had struggles in terms of scoring. Obviously, the NYU game didn't shoot very well. No one did. The Purchase game where he shot decently well, but he didn't really shoot. And this one.
It's going to be interesting when hopefully Max Zakheim comes back whenever he does come back to see if that helps open things up a little for the shooters like Batesh and Samet.
Yeah, we saw him in warm-ups before the game, but he's not dressed for the game. But hopefully we'll be able to see Red Rocket soon.
Figueroa fouled on a 3 by Zucker. So that'll be 5 on Zucker. He'll head to the bench. Figueroa will get 3 free throws. A little too late for the Knights, but would like to pad the stats nonetheless.
Yeah, and that's the 3rd game in 4 games, Charlie, that Matan Zucker has fouled out of. And we get to see Eli Ibgi coming in. Big boy from Eula.
Yep. The LA kid, Ibgi, number 50, a fan favorite. Will get 14.8 seconds of game time tonight.
I think we need a good nickname. You know, we had the Human Victory cigar last year with Alon Jakubowicz. Although, I tell you what, Ibgi's got a really good shot at cracking rotation. He's been very impressive in practice. Not sure he's going to have to be a Victory cigar for the Max in the coming years.
Definitely brings a different look to this Max team.
Yeah, a YX sort of feel, you know. Kind of physical.
Yep.
Big boy, you don't want to get screened by him. I saw Oren Batesh get screened by him a few weeks ago in practice, and Oren landed against the blue wall. And the blue wall was about 8 feet away from the screen, so got plastered.
He'll inbound the ball. Knights will not foul. The Max will dribble it out. Max will take this game by a score of 90-78, improving their in-conference record. Knights fall in their first in-conference game. It wasn't pretty, but the job gets done by the Max. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and don't go anywhere. We have a post-game show for you next.
Hey, Max fans, this is Joseph Gittler, founder and chairman of Leket Israel, YC class of '96. It's citrus season in Israel. We need to rescue millions of pounds of these citrus fruit to feed the needy just over the next few months. So please give us a hand. Help the winning team, Leket Israel, and the other winning team. Go Max!
It's going to be a celebration like we've never seen before. Deeply rooted in the Torah, inspired by our core Torah values, committed to academic excellence and geared to empower our students, the leaders of tomorrow. The flagship Jewish university is on the rise, rising in national rankings, soaring in student enrollment, launching top-tier academic programs, and helping secure great jobs and impactful careers for our graduates. Hakol l'chvodo. I invite you to join the Yeshiva University community on Sunday, December 4th at our 98th annual Hanukkah dinner, where we'll experience the impact and celebrate our achievements. This promises to be an extraordinary night in an incredible new space, an evening filled with entertainment, no speeches, and a unique experience that celebrates our Rise Up campaign. I look forward to seeing you there.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Max Stern Athletic Center, where the Yeshiva University Maccabees have defeated the Mount St. Mary Knights by a score of 90-78. We're going to send it down to our Sideline reporter, S.J. Tannenbaum, who's here with the star of the game, 25 points. Oren Batesh. S.J., take it away.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Oren Batesh. Oren, great game tonight. 25 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 6 for 8 from 3. Obviously, for you, a great three-point shooting game is nothing new. I want to ask you first, how important was it to get the win tonight after the loss to NYU this past Thursday night?
I mean, it was really important. We came off last game not giving any effort. We got blown out, and like we all in the whole locker room saying, we need this win. We need to get a bounce-back game for us, for our fans, for the whole school. And we proved it tonight by getting a 12-point win against a conference team.
You obviously great shooting game tonight. Can you tell in the beginning of the game if the game is going to be a great shooting night for you, or is it more of a wait and see as the game progresses?
I mean, we've been hearing all the NBA players been saying this.
Yeah, we talked about it all night, but I mean, and it's not a surprise given the youngness of this team, but a lot of forced passes. Some of them were caused by Mount St. Mary. A lot of them were not caused by Mount St. Mary. An inability of simple pick apart a zone basketball. But they were hitting their shots when they got them, which is always a good sign. And defensively, a lot of fundamentals which needs to get resolved, but we're getting there. It was a good second half overall and a good way to finish out this 4-game week.
And coming up next week, Monday night at 8 o'clock, YU, the Macs, are going to be at the College of Mount St. Vincent. Then Thursday night, they'll be at the College of Old Westbury, and then back here next Saturday night, December 10th, for a game against St. Joe's University, Long Island. So 3 Skyline games coming up this next week, a big stretch of basketball.
Yeah, this is a 14-day stretch in which the Macs play 7 games, Charlie, which is quite a lot.
Yes.
Especially when you have guys who aren't really there yet in terms of their legs. It'll be a big test to see if the Macs can keep playing on a decently high level in terms of their energy.
Again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Final score, Macs 90, Knights 78. Tune in next Saturday night for the game against University of Long Island. Thanks again for tuning in, and have a good night.